In this video, we're going to learn how to add and subtract polynomials. In today's video, we will learn how to add and subtract polynomials. So let's look at our first example right here, A. We have three terms, 2p plus 4. Even though it's grouped within parentheses, we can go ahead and take the parentheses out. Our second term here, we have 5 times p minus 1. I want to go ahead and simplify this by using my distributive property. So I'm going to multiply 5 times p and multiply 5 times negative 1. So I have 5p minus 5. I'm going to add that to what I have working, the 2p plus 4. My last term looks like this. And while that might look like I can just copy it to the other side, what you have to realize is that there is an invisible 1 in here. And so what I have to make sure I do before I can take it out of the parentheses is I have to simplify this by distributing that negative 1 across the p and the 7. So when I do that, I get a negative p minus 7. And then I can take it out of the parentheses because I just distributed that negative 1. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that right after my 5. So now what I have is a really large polynomial expression. And what I want to do first is I want to order it. So I'm going to put my variables together and my numbers together. So I'm going to reorganize this. And I'm going to grab all my p's, put them together. That's 2p. That's a positive 5p. That's a negative p. And then I'm going to grab all my numbers and put them together. And then what I'm going to do is, as I notice that these p's are all raised to the same degree, I can go ahead and simplify by combining them using addition or subtraction. So a 2p plus a 5p, and I'm going to go from left to right, is going to be 7p. 7p minus p is going to be 6p. And just like that, you simplified all your variables. Now I'm going to move on to my numbers, going from left to right. 4 minus 5 is going to give me a negative 1. Negative 1 and negative 7 make a negative 8. And so that is how you basically add and subtract polynomials. Now let's move on to B. We have this particular expression that we can take out of the parentheses because it's not being raised to a power and we're not multiplying any numbers in front of the parentheses either. So we can simply just take it out of the parentheses. In this other expression, this other term though, we do have a negative 2 that we want to distribute. So if I pull it out, this is what it looks like. And what I want to do is I want to distribute this negative 2 across both terms, the x to the 4th power and the 13. So I'm going to distribute the negative 2, and that gives me negative 2x to the 4th power. And then 13 times negative 2 is going to be negative 26. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this and just add it. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move my variables to one side and my numbers and constants to the other side because I only have one variable here, which is x. So I can just simply put them in order by degrees. And I notice that this x to the power of 4 is the same as this other x to the power of 4. So I'm just going to copy them both right next to each other. And then I'm going to put the 9x next to that and leave my number last. Now, because these two terms have the same variable, which in turn have been raised to the same power, in this case 4, I can go ahead and combine the coefficients. So 7 minus 2 is going to give me a 5, and I'm simply going to keep the variable x to the 4th power. I don't have anything else with x to the 1st degree, so I'm just going to leave the 9x by itself, and same with the 26. And that is the answer for that.